with the workout the NFL had set up that was on Saturday instead, holding his own workout an hour later, 30 minutes down the road, where 8 NFL teams attended. Max?
According to someone who is familiar with the situation, let's put it that way, intimately, Stephen A., their contention to me, as you were talking about what the deal was, is that all of the media that was at the originally scheduled workout made it to Colin's actual workout.
That would be CNN, that would be the NFL Network, that would be Howard Bryant for ESPN, and I think a couple of other
so they made it.
Who all
they made it. But only 8 of the 32 teams made it, even though it was on the way to the airport. So in other words, that's NFL spin. It's not actually that it was too far away to make it. It was that they didn't want to move it. Now, why did Kaepernick's team handle it this way? They don't believe the NFL. They believe that the whole thing was a way to smuggle in a waiver that Colin Kaepernick could sign away his rights, everything from the settlement on, until the settlement's one thing.
Is that legally? I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if. Are you saying that they stipulated the fact that he would sign an addendum to the contract and then that would just eviscerate and get rid of every right he had?
That's what
he could never sue the NFL.
That's what they believe the phrasing allowed. It was open-ended enough for them to do it. And they believe, based on the NFL's behavior, we'll give you a personnel list. No, we won't. We'll do this. No, we won't.
May I pause you?
Please.
It is a standard waiver releasing the NFL and the Atlanta Falcons should a player have sustained an injury during the workout. The document, the waiver, also confirms the NFL's right to send the video to all 32 teams. There is a paragraph in there that references employment and confirms that the tryout is not a guarantee of employment. That is included in there to prevent a player from claiming entitlement to workers' compensation if there was an injury.
I've actually, I can read it to you, but there is a part in there that is vaguely enough worded that seems to give the NFL an argument that Colin Kaepernick has no right to sue them for anything going forward from the last settlement to what's happened
for the price of a
workout, which even if he was on the NFL roster, which may or may not be true based on
the
merits.
Wait a second, you guys have 2 different statements, or that's just part of the statement?
No. What happened is,
be clear on what's happening.
What happened is the NFL had a liability waiver they presented to Colin Kaepernick.
I understand that.
They presented that to Colin Kaepernick. As of Saturday, Colin Kaepernick's camp came back with an edited version of their waiver. And in their waiver, they omitted whatever it was that you were alluding to. And the NFL found that interpretation presented by Colin Kaepernick's lawyers unacceptable.
I want to hear from the panel, but let me just say, there's a term in politics called useful idiot. It means someone who propagandizes without realizing what they're doing. They're being used by someone else. It is possible that I am here a useful idiot for Colin Kaepernick's camp, or that Stephen A. is for the NFL, right? And you can decide yourself. But I have found the Kaepernick's camp's argument more persuasive than the NFL's argument. I find them more trustworthy than the NFL based on what I understand to be the facts.
And the difference, and I'll go to you, Dr. Dyson, the difference between you and I is that I'm not focused on the waiver. I'm focused on an individual that said he wanted to work out when in fact,
he did work out.
Let me finish. When in fact, all of us know, first of all, the NFL personnel, NFL videos, the equipment, et cetera, all the things that are available to him, along with the personnel. Hugh Jackson was going to be in place. Former head coach Joe Philbin was going to be in place. Atlanta officials, team personnel, all of this other stuff. They were all in place. That's entirely different than a high school with your boys. At a high school with your boys. That's number one. Number two, and more importantly, the only reason why I'm not prioritizing the waiver is that you're not in the league. You're looking to play. And an opportunity to showcase yourself in front of 25 NFL executives. You wanted to sit up there and say to them, the hell with you doing there? Come here where I am. I don't know any NFL player who could get away with flexing that kind of
Can I ask you, Dr. Dyson, a question? Your life's work is championing these causes, right? So now that Colin will no longer, we're assuming, have a platform of the NFL, does that hurt his mission?
Well, look. Dick Gregory was a great comedian. At some point, Dick Gregory said, the comedian part of me will not satisfy my desire for social justice. I can tell jokes, and that's extremely important. So he left comedy, and he became a full-time activist. But that was by his choice. Colin Kaepernick is being coerced into a situation, but those are instructive differences. Richard Pryor said, I'm going to stay within the comedic realm and use my comedic platform to articulate my conception of justice. Two different roads, but the same goal. So Colin Kaepernick is useful, some would argue, maybe even more useful as an icon than as a football player. I was at that game where the lights went out, where Beyonce sent the lights out in that Super Bowl, where he was one play from winning the Super Bowl. And we used to do the biceps and the Kaepernick and so on. So this is an extraordinary figure. It may be unjustly, unfairly, certainly immorally, that he is thrust into a position where he is now an iconic figure.
And there are those who believe that that's why he doesn't actually want to play football, that he'd rather be a...
But if he didn't want to play football, why would he be in shape and
then I want to
throw a
finish my
ball
point.
around?
Okay, sorry.
No, you finish.
Paragraphs 2 and 7, their legal analysis, I've seen legal analysis, backdoor waiver of any future collusion claims. Now, would you trade that for a workout?
Right.
Why should you have to write away those rights for a workout?
No.
I agree with
absolutely with that. And so he has a right and every justification to be skeptical. But I think here's the bigger issue. Three things. First of all, it's unfair from the beginning. To expect Pharaoh to give you a scholarship to Freedom School is problematic. So you got to figure out, right? I think that's what it is, right? We know the fix is in. But we step into that ring because we contest with the belief that the cause is so right, the belief is so just, and the ability to display my confidence, betting in myself, I'm going to be able to do it. So I think that's number one. Number two, black people who disagree have to stop with the name calling. Right. You're a coon. You're a sellout. Look, Malcolm X called King the greatest force that the white man has ever had as a Tom, and then turned around and got killed by other black people because they disagreed with him. I'm saying to us that we can disagree and we can have
got to
vigorous.
stop. It's not helpful.
Name call is not important because Malcolm Jenkins is doing extraordinary work on the ground.
And Eric Reed called him out.
Bolden, right? And I think, and look, and I love Eric Reed, but I think Mr. Reed has to really be careful about the deployment of nomenclature that is vicious and assaultive. And Jay-Z worked inside, and finally, people said, what's Jay-Z going to do? He got the man a tryout.
That's right.
Okay.
Acknowledge
They're
that.
playing the music because we have to get a commercial break in. That was so important that I didn't want to cut you off. I wanted to let you finish that. More First Take after the break.